Good evening. We are back with another episode of Corner to Copa. We are at episode 6. We're here with Foster Child and my dog Coach, and we're covering another week of Tigers baseball. We're a couple days late, I guess. We had some stuff going on over the weekend, but we had to wrap up this last week. But how you doing, Coach?
I'm good. Yeah, I've just spent a couple days up north golfing with a couple buddies, expecting some newborns on the way. So a little celebration for the guys out there, but kept a little bit of a touch on the boys at Comerica, and I think we got a bit to talk about.
Absolutely, that Michigan life, going up north and making babies.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like in a week's time, so much happens. That's why we gotta, there's always plenty to talk about by the time we get back around for the next show. But just a week in recap, we won the Marlins game. We won the first game on some late inning heroics. I think Torkelson hit his first home run that night, maybe, but we got some late inning heroics from him. He hits a home run, and we got blanked the next two nights. We scored, I think, 6 runs in that first game, and then we got blanked for the next 2 days. I went to the game, the second to last game of the series, and we didn't score a single run. And this is the Marlins, who had not won had won one other series the entire year, and they were able to take 2 from us at home because we just don't fare as well at home for whatever reason. But we took 2 or 3 from the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona. We won the first 2 games, lost the third one, and the offense woke up. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but we had a crazy offensive outburst. Everybody batted around for the most part. Carson Kelly, Colt Keith, Torkelson, and all the other usual suspects. But it was great to watch. I watched those games. I think all of them from beginning. No, I missed one game, but from beginning and end, the first game for certain. I think that was Friday night, and it was nice to see us hit for some power, hit for some average. Just going with the pitches, just taking the approach of just taking what the pitcher gives you, and we got on them. And Javi Baez had the series of his life, and if for whatever reason, I think it's called Chase Bank Park or Chase Park.
Yep, Chase
he
Ballpark,
statistically has always hit well there, and he bumped his average up like 40 points, and he no longer had the lowest OPS in the league, but yeah, he had a different level of confidence and swagger, and it was nice to see. And then obviously we lost the last game of the series. We had an opportunity to win that game as well. Carpenter got thrown out on a inside the park home run, and some timely so not getting timely hits and all that. But outside of that, we had a game yesterday. We got kind of touched up pretty bad by the Royals. Reese Olson got taken out of the game pretty early after taking a line drive off the hip, and so it was a bullpen day. We had Bo Brisky, who pitched very well. He's pitched very well since he's been up, and a couple of our bullpen guys got touched up pretty bad. But anything else? I've been kind of rambling a little bit. Anything else that you saw as far as the last week in Tigers baseball?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit on it. I mean, honestly, the competitiveness in the Arizona series was great to see. Again, it's kind of the same theme. Kind of blew our offensive, output in one game. Wish we could spread it
Absolutely.
around a little bit. Would have won us the series easily. But that Miami series was disheartening to a large degree. Like you said, they had won one series. This team was actually had the highest rotational ERA in baseball heading into that, just over 5.25 ERA, and they couldn't even score 5 runs over the last 2 games. Like you said, they got goose egg blanked last 2 games, and that just cannot happen when you got a team that's playing that poorly. I don't want to say they're bad, but obviously it's just not working for them. Way worse than it is for us, as much as we've been struggling. You need to take advantage of that. And I'm not going to sit here and second guess or assume what they were thinking heading in. Maybe they were thinking, oh, we're going to kill them. Last show we ended, so I said, we need to beat the brakes off them. And coming out of that series didn't leave much confidence that we'd be able to do much against Arizona. But maybe they happened to think the same thing of us, and we caught them at the right time. But yeah, like you said about the game yesterday too, Reese Olson. I mean, that was an absolute shot he took. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but for a guy that's actually had really good numbers, second to Scooble, not a guy we can really afford to lose long term in this rotation, considering some of the other guys have been getting roughed up a little bit. And not to Reese's fault, but we have really yet to score for him in much of any of his outings. Otherwise, he'd probably be up there as in the conversation as an all-star fan vote in potentially. So, but yeah, ups and downs, kind of the way it's been for the last week and change. But yeah, as a whole, that's pretty much my general thoughts on
All right, and we're gonna get into the first break. All right, um, so yeah, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. As far as the good, Spencer Torkelson finally gets off the schneid. I think he's got what 3 home runs now.
Yep, he has 3. Yep,
He's got 3 home runs.
I
All
think he hit back to back too, didn't he? Back to back games.
yes, yeah, that sounds correct. But he's finally start to finally uh, getting the swing together. We figured that eventually that would happen, but it was just kind of the big waiting game of when that was going to be. And it's encouraging. I mean, he's pretty much been in the middle of the lineup. He's kind of slid. He slid down a lot for a while, but yeah, I mean he's definitely a key component to what the offense can be when it's all said and done. So it was nice to see him hit a clutch home run against the Marlins, but also hit a couple just bombs against. I think Arizona. Did he hit 2 against Arizona? Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody.
he hit one in the Houston game, then I think he hit one in Miami, and then he either hit a second. Yeah, then he had to have hit one in Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the power is starting to come around. He's catching fire. Well, I won't say catching fire, but
His slugging is improving, so that's
yeah,
he's finding he's picking up pitches better, and he's starting to actually drive the ball more into open spots. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and you're seeing him go opposite field as well, which is important. That's a telltale sign that you're um, really seeing the ball well. But Wensil Perez is nothing. I mean, what more can I say about Wensil Perez? He's finally getting some buzz as far as the Rookie of the Year talks. Obviously, there's some guys in Baltimore that may have something to say about that. But right now, he's the best hitter on the team. Better than Torque, better than Riley Green, better than Mark Cannon, everybody. He just doesn't have too many bad at bats, which is crazy for a guy that I think he spent the first 2 or 3 years of his career in single A ball. Didn't have a lot of buzz as far as young prospects, but he's made the best of his opportunity, and he will not be sent down this year. You said he's hitting 340 this year. He's well, he's also he's having he just has a great approach. Like even if he's you know hits a couple hard balls early in the game, he's not gonna force this issue. He will take a walk if they start pitching around him, which is not as characteristic as a young aggressive hitter. But he just never gets cheated, and he doesn't have too many bad games overall. He pretty much on any given night is going to give you a couple good at bats, even if it's a hard line out somewhere. So, and the other thing I love about him is that he does the little things as well. You see him tagging up from first to second. You see him stealing bases. There was one particular series, I think it was one particular just series of events against Arizona where he went first to second, tagging up. He stole third, and then he put I think it was Javi Baez in an opportunity in an RBI situation. And that's one thing that Javi has done very well. I think he doubled his RBI output in Arizona alone, which is insane. But yeah, Javi, when runners are in scoring position, he tends to get the job done for whatever reason. So yeah, Perez just does all the little things that needs to be done. He's not amazing in the field, but he is very serviceable. And whether he's in a corner outfield spot or in center field, he has to be in the lineup every night. He bats. He's a switch hitter, so he doesn't really have those same issues of matchup problems whether it's a lefty or righty. So I've overly elaborated on Wednesday Perez. Obviously, he's my favorite Tiger right now. That's a given.
I'm right there with you, man.
Outside of that, like I said, Javi Baez had an amazing series. If he could match that, or if he could just do half of that series in any type of consistency, he would be a very respectable and he'd be a respectable hitter and be well worth all the money we're paying him. But he actually has the night off tonight because he rolled into several double plays the other yesterday. So he's gonna we'll see. Consistency is the key. Arizona was great. It was nice to see all that hitting, but if we scored 13 runs, I think, in game 2. If we could just do half of that on a consistent basis, this team would be in great shape. And Cole Keith, I felt like he was starting, even though his average was very low, I felt like he was coming out of his slump, and he's really starting to hit the ball very hard. And I'm confident that he's well on his way to getting back on the right track. Because he just seems to be seeing the ball a lot better. He's hitting the ball hard, and I don't think he has a home run yet. Does he have a home run?
Not to my knowledge, no.
That's coming. That is coming. As far as the bad, Gio Urshela, he had one great game in Arizona. I think it was that game 2 where we scored 13 runs, but he's only hitting 200 in his last 7 games. I think he started out really well before he got hurt, but I think we're starting to come to the realization that Gio Urshela is what he is, and that he's probably not a everyday third baseman. He's probably our most consistent third baseman, but I think he's coming back to the reality of where he's at. We've definitely had some costly defensive errors that has hurt us. Certainly last night we had some blunders. Rodgers was struggling. He's struggling hitting and defensively. He's pass balls, the errant throw to third base when nobody was there on a kind of a weird, quirky play. And yeah, just the consistent run support overall. The ugly was Wentz and Will Vest. They got touched up real bad yesterday. I think they both got touched up bad yesterday, but just in general, I mean, granted, they're long relief guys. They're not guys that are going to be in there on high leverage situations, but with guys like Shelby Miller out, and who's you'll probably touch on Shelby Miller a little bit more, but with guys like him out and Kenna Maeda out, they're going to get more run. So So
And
yeah,
that situation yesterday was just a fluke too, because long relievers, the regular guys, Holton and Faedo, they need usually an inning plus to probably closer to 2 innings, honestly, to stretch, loosen up, then start throwing, because they throw a bit more than your traditional, seventh, eighth, ninth inning relievers do. But so I understand that's why Hinch had to go to a more traditional reliever out of the bullpen as an emergency, because they still get a set amount of time, for a freak injury like that. They do get a bit amount of time to get someone up, but it wouldn't have been nearly enough time to get Fight or Holton up in that case. So it was just a weird anomaly play and situation that you don't like to see. But yeah.
absolutely. And we've already kind of parlayed into injuries, but what do we have going on? We definitely had some guys hit the IL. Well, we might have talked about some of them, but what do
Well,
we have
real quick,
going?
let me circle back to the
Yeah,
good, bad, ugly real quick. I actually shared a bit of what you had there. I think I know we touched on it last show. Scooble is absolutely, as of today, is having a certifiable Cy Young competitive year, and I would be shocked if he's not one of the top few vote getters for starting pitchers for the All Star. He's
well, he's
got a
undefeated.
he's got a 2.2 WAR, which is nuts, absolutely insane. His WHIP is just under a shade under .8. His ERA is looking like something out of a Kurt Schilling or Randy Johnson or a type year, where it's just incredible.
Kerry Wood,
Um,
Mark Pryor.
yeah, Greg Maddox. I mean, you have to go back to find some of these numbers, and the dude's touching 102 now. So he's throwing no 92 mile an hour
Lefty
BP
though, lefty.
fastballs.
Like
He's
that's
throwing
just so
102
nasty.
BP. Yeah, it's nasty. The good as well. I think we mentioned a little bit. Perez, Ibanez, and Urshela are still carrying the club. To your point, Urshela usually is hitting well when some of the other guys around him are also hitting well. He tends to just carry, keeps the lineup moving. He doesn't really stand out too much on his own when the other guys are struggling. But again, I think to your point, when they're playing well, he's getting pitches that he's gonna drive. Whereas if you're hitting without guys on base, there's 2 outs. They're gonna work the zone. They're gonna work their repertoire, and they're gonna find your weak spot. But hopefully that'll come around, because I know Andy's still been hitting pretty well. But these guys, Andy and Gio, have played limited so far with injuries. So hoping they can kind of get settled in there. Bad run support for the rotation. Plain and simple, these guys got to score in the first 5 innings, because it's killing guys like Scooble and Reese Olson, especially Reese. I feel bad for the guy. He's got 5 L's, 0 W's, but he's got numbers that would rival that of an all-star in terms of ERA, WHIP. He's easily the number 2 behind Scooble. Like, there's no doubt it's 1-2 with those guys. And then allow them to get a little bit deeper into the game, kind of stretch out their pitch count a little bit, get them a little seasoned. Heaven forbid we somehow make a run for a wild card spot. You'd like to see these guys throwing 95 pitches a game comfortably, instead of getting yanked after 5 innings with 80, 85, because they're just laboring through some innings. But and frankly, with the like you said, defense has to improve. I don't know who the infield coach is right now. And I know it's probably easily found with the search, but the timely errors. Again, it's like everything seems to be timely with this club. They don't hit timely hits, and they make timely, costly defensive errors that directly lead to runs almost every time. You can probably get away with an error or two here and there and not let it bite you in the butt, but I swear most of their errors get converted into runs, which absolutely kills them, because they've been pretty good in one-run games, but then you're down 3 or 4 runs. I mean, that's still hard at the major league level. And for the ugly, lack of power. I know we mentioned Scooble's coming around. He's starting to drive the ball a little bit more, but overall as a team, still,
You talking about
it's
Torkelson? You said school.
overall. Sorry, yeah, Torkelson. Sorry. Other than Torkelson coming around and some of the other guys, Colt's been driving the ball a little bit more. Still struggling on defense though. It's it's tough, because you look at guys like Mark Canna, who is very patient, and 2 on, bases loaded, and he's up there taking walks. It's hard to take that out of a veteran guy like that and be like, no, you need to swing the bat. We need a run or two off of
He's got
you.
probably one of the more home. He's up there. He's got like 5 or 6, which is a ton for us.
Yeah, he's got 6. Him and Kerry Carpenter are tied with 6. Riley's
Oh,
got
Carp. We
9.
haven't even talked Carp.
Yeah,
He hit
Carp's
a
been.
bomb opposite field yesterday. Oh my. That
You want to talk
dude.
about a guy who's hitting for power all sides of the field? Carpenter has been hitting for power.
And just imagine
So,
if he had consistent protection. That dude would
yes.
hit 50 home runs in Yankee Stadium. I'm sorry, he just would.
Yeah, you're
Because when
right.
he, yeah. Anyways,
The problem is too, he also gets subbed in late game situations. Like, and it's again, he's we've talked about before. He's stuck in that platoon situation. He'll play right field a little bit. He'll play DH, but then he'll get benched for a defensive sub, and it's like Perez. Dude, these two have to stay in the game with their
he's
bat.
also
They
he's
just have
also
to.
very bad against lefties, though. Like statistically,
Yeah, I get that. I mean, at
he's
some
got a
point,
good
though,
arm, but I don't
he's
think
got to be
he's.
able to. You guys still have to try and give him a chance here and there.
Jeez, Bobby
Um,
Witt just. Oh my God, we're getting killed tonight.
but yeah, and then walk to strikeout ratio as hitters, it's still pretty bad. They have 416 strikeouts to 144 walks. I mean, that's tough. But I'll wrap that portion up. But
Mr. Rogers might have something he is struggling. Like
yeah,
it's like mental, like the way it was for who can I say? I think no Keith. The way Keith kind of seemed like he was beating himself up for a while. That's what I feel like because defensively he was always been pretty serviceable, but I feel like he's taking his bat out onto the field at this point.
that could be the case. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to do that and stay. You can beat
Especially when
this
you
and
had
win.
such a good year last year. Granted, catchers,
Yeah,
we almost don't care if you're a good battery for the pitchers that you play with. It's almost doesn't matter as long as you're hitting maybe around 200. But
yeah,
he was
exactly.
one of our better hitters last year. He had 23 home runs last year. Like it's just
Well, I
crazy
mean,
how
it kind of
baseball is just
changes when you had such a bad start last year that they did, that they were damn near already eliminated 3 months into the season, and there was literally no pressure. Like, you're
yeah.
already one of the worst teams in the league. There's no pressure. Just go out there and play. You can forget about everything else at that point. But now you got expectations a little bit this year. There's some buzz going
Kinda.
around.
A little bit, but the AL Central is so strong. We're 7.5 games
Yeah.
back, and we're 1 game under 500. Like the season is kind of getting the fact that we're about to lose for all intents and purposes. We may lose today because we're down 5-0 right now. Like we got to win some series against the division because they're
Yeah.
damn. It's contagious now.
Sorry.
But I don't know. We're getting further and further behind, and you're losing series to the Marlins where you can't score a run. It's getting spooky out here. But I will. Well, I gotta. Let's take one. Let's take another break here. All right. Let's see where we're at on the agenda here.
I believe you had before I stepped in. I think you said injuries.
Yeah. Did we touch on injuries yet, or I don't know? You were kind of
Not yet.
finishing up the
Yeah.
good and the bad. So yeah, go.
We touched on a few of them, but I'll run them
Yeah.
down real quick. There wasn't too much. A lot of it's been more recently, and some of the other stuff is a little more obscure with some minor leaguers. But obviously, earlier in the week, last week, Gio did return, and Akil was sent down. Badu, I know he's a boy,
It's my boy.
but again, just a logjam out there in the outfield, tough for him. Obviously, Reese left with that hip contusion. I was listening actually on the way back into my house tonight. AJ was speaking pregame to tonight's game about him, and he said he's going to throw a bullpen in a couple days, or they're working on him getting treatment each day to help with the soreness, the inflammation, and the limited mobility, obviously, that he's going through right now. But they're hoping he doesn't miss a start, but there's a chance, sounds like he may, which, you take 102 exit velo off the hip. Dude, that's if you don't break anything, you're lucky. One, two, if you're able to continue to walk normally for a few days, I think you're lucky in that regard. So we'll keep an eye on him. Um, Speaking of pitchers, Maeda had another rehab start yesterday in Toledo. Went 3+ innings, 6 Ks, 3 hits. Although he started in typical Maeda fashion, gave up 2 doubles and gave him a run almost immediately, but then settled down and only allowed one the rest of the way. I think he's got another bullpen session too, and then after that they'll kind of reevaluate to see if he's ready to come up or be activated, I should say. Couple obscure notes on the 18th. The Tigers designated for assignment Ty Attic, who they had acquired maybe a few weeks earlier in the month or late April, and then also claimed left-handed pitcher Easton Lucas and sent him to Toledo in his spot. Shelby Miller underwent a hydrodissection procedure. Played some light catch, looks like about 4 days ago. Still no timetable on his return. They said he'll probably play some catch again, and eventually work his way up to throwing off a mound, and then a bullpen session. I think that's how it kind of normally goes, and then they'll reevaluate from that standpoint. As you said, Bo Brisk got called up. He's been pretty good. I think in two outings for sure. I'm not sure if he's been three, two for sure outings he's pitched in so far. So there's another young guy who's up, getting some early quality playing time right now. Lastly, Jackson Jobe, although this has been an injury that he suffered way back at the beginning of the month, a hamstring injury. No timetable yet for his return. He is on the 7-day IL down there in Erie, but we're now on basically 3 weeks already of him being out. So not much information on there. We'll let you know as more info becomes available on him. But that's pretty much in terms of injuries and transactions.
All right. So that is the injury report. We're going to parlay that right into what's going on down on the farm. So Jace Jung and Malloy, they are both on fire. They are on the way. I would be very surprised. It's between three guys that it's likely to be the next guys back, next man up. But Jace Jung and Malloy are still on fire. They both hit home runs on Sunday, and Malloy already has a home run today. They both have OPSs in the 900s. But I've been keeping a close eye on Parker Meadows. Parker Meadows is hitting well.
Yeah,
He cooled off today, but going into Sunday, he was hitting 324. He's got an OPS that's near 1,000 as well. He started very, very slow, which may very well have been due to the just the disappointment of having to be sent back down to Toledo and not being successful early on in Detroit. But it is encouraging to see that he is getting his confidence back and seeing some good things happen for him. So tough to say what will open up for him to get back up. Likely won't be unless there's another injury in the outfield. We kind of, in the notes, it kind of said that the outfield is already kind of clogged, and eventually we're going to have to find some room because we have so many guys like Ryan Velarde. We saw him up for a quick second. He's got a home run already today as well. He's hitting 330. So, another young bat. Badu has maintained some decent success. He's got some maintained some decent success as well. But yeah, I think Ty Madden's had another start. I think it was kind of an iffy start. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but yeah, overall, Jace Jung, Malloy, Meadows, all hitting well. Velarde is getting back to where he left off before he got called up for a quick cup of coffee. But got some good things going on down there. Tough to say whether if any of these guys, whether their success will translate to success at the major league level. But if there's any chance do, I would love to see it because very, very inconsistent at the major league level with the guys that we have right now, and
Mm-hmm.
we are getting further and further behind. Not right at 500, which would have been great last year, but with
Yeah.
so many teams successful, I mean, the Indians don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. The Royals are. I can't see the right. I
I
can't
think
see
they're
the
heading into tonight. I think there were 11 games over 500, 30-19.
right. And I was just looking to see if they were still beating us right now, but well, they're definitely still beating us. I just don't know what the
Yeah.
score is. So,
Actually, sorry, don't want to burst our bubble here, but I think I read heading into this series yesterday, Kansas City was looking for the first series win against Detroit in at least 11 series prior.
you said what? Say that one more time.
The Royals were looking for their first series win against Detroit in their last 11 series played, going back to last year and maybe even the year before that.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, we've served pretty well. I mean, they were really really bad last year. I
Oh, they
really
were
don't even know
terrible.
how they're doing what they're doing. But yeah, we're losing 6-0 right now. Tyler Holden they've already got Mize up out of there. So, yeah, not looking good. Something's got to give. I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't know if they make any moves to alter what we got going on right now. But
Something's going to happen in the outfield because if Parker continues doing what he's doing up there, because remember when he left, when he was demoted, essentially, we'll just call it a spade there. He was the best defensive WAR and range center fielder in the majors. And
Are we losing anything with him? Not because we're still not giving up runs.
no, but it's defensive range. And I saw Perez throw one in I think it was the Arizona game the other night, 2 nights
Mm-hmm.
ago, and from right field. And my eyes got big, and I'm like, now I understand why he was moved off second base. But I mean, guy just does not have that great of range of an arm. I mean, he threw it in with momentum carrying himself forward and falling over when he made the throw, and
And
it's
still didn't.
still skipped in 2 or 3 times. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Even Maggio at least had a respectable arm. He could one hop it in back in the day. We all knew he didn't have a fantastic arm, but it was serviceable. It wasn't going to be a weakness. But you look at someone like Veerling, because McKinstry too plays left side infield. Kerry Carpenter's in the mix and plays DH a lot when they want to rotate in someone else in the corner outfield. They really do not have a solidified center fielder without
No.
Parker.
Yeah. No.
And
Yeah.
even though Wenzel has range, just does not have an arm. But he's too good at everything else to not be in the lineup and, like you said earlier, descend down. So it's going to put the front office in a little bit of a situation because honestly, I'm not sure what options are left for guys like Veerling and them. They may have too much major league service where they don't have any more two-way options. So if you were to send him down, you essentially would be DFAing him and
Yeah. I
risk
mean, it'd be
someone else
tough to
playing
send
him.
Veerling down. Veerling, he's not
Right.
great with runners in scoring position, but I think he's hitting
Yeah,
upwards
he
of
is.
280 or something like.
Right. And I'm not saying I would look at him being the trade bait, but
Oh,
if
trade?
yeah,
Ah.
if that's at this point, if Parker can't find a way via injury or long-term injury, they're kind of at an impasse if they don't have any options with the guys that they have currently on the 25-man roster. But that's maybe looking a little bit further down the road. But sorry to steal your thunder there about Parker, but yeah, dude, he's got out of his 12 hits and 37 at bats down there, half of them are extra base hits. He's stealing bags. I mean,
You talking about it? You talking about
at
at the?
AAA,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh God, if we could have just had half of that when he was up, because he was worse than 160.
I'm not in a hurry to. I don't. I'm not so quick to think that when he gets back up here, he's just gonna start tearing the cover off the ball.
True.
But yeah.
Confidence helps when you're back
But
down there, that's for
Veerling,
sure.
yeah. We do need to make some room somewhere. I guess I wouldn't be just what the heck? It's a Robin. It just pulled up. Just popped
But
up on my anyway,
yeah,
my bad. State Bird
hey,
popping up.
tell him the wrong podcast. You got to go to Baltimore.
You're right. I mean, Michigan State Bird, but nah,
Right.
yeah, we got to figure something out. I would hate for Parker
And I know
Meadows to get back up here and to continue to struggle.
I
He
think
did
he's
hit a couple
done.
home runs.
But
He hit 1 or 2 home runs. He did
yeah,
something, but we'll take a break because I've kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. Here we go. But yeah, I'm ready to see. I'm all but ready to see what Jace Jung and Malloy have to offer. There's not much more that they can do at the AAA level. They've hit at every level, and we need to start figuring out what we have and don't have, so we can start making some moves. Because we could use a consistent. I don't think they just don't have the confidence that Ibanez is an everyday third baseman. So we got to find an everyday third baseman. I don't think Ursula is quite. He was kind of a stopgap. We had no outside of
yeah,
we had no third baseman, everyday third baseman. So I get that we had to go see what Ursula could do, but yeah, we need another consistent veteran bat, and we do have some value with some young players. I wouldn't even be mad if there was some interest in Matt Manning. Matt Manning, he I feel like his last outing he showed that he's respectable. I think he had somewhere close to a quality start, but he just gets behind in the counts. He give up some walks, and he just gets torched every once in a while. So, if somebody can still find some value in him, because he is young, he's got just he looks like a
yeah.
league pitcher, a modern major league pitcher. He's like 6'5". So, we got pitching. Flaherty and
I'll, I'll
Scoop
run you
are
some
good.
numbers with Manning, and
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
it's not pretty as of late. I mean, that New York game that he started was the best game by far. 5 2/3, 0 hits, runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks. But last 4 starts since then, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 3 earned with 5 Ks, only 1 walk. And then the last outing in Arizona, he went 5 innings, 10 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, and only 1 strikeout. So he's kind of trending in the wrong direction right now. But again, like you said, all these have been spot starts except for the last one,
Yeah, he's
Miami,
up
and this
now.
next one coming up. So
His
yeah, he
next one is
knows
on
he's pitching.
Friday. Actually,
Yep.
I'll be at that game. It's the Blue Jays game on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they've already announced that he'll be a starter. So this is the one right here. It's tough to do those spot starts, but the last one he was called up because Maeda, he's
Yep.
officially replacing Maeda in the order. So, I need to see something because I don't know. He's been he's been up for a while we're losing 8-0. This is getting rough.
Oh. And you know what? I'll throw it out there. It might be. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an unpopular take because I'm sure. I know I've seen some stuff on X Twitter about Hobby. It's like if some of these other guys continue to improve and kind of take off in line with what we thought they would be able to do, and Hobby continues to stay in the basement of shortstops, they might be forced to say, you know what, thanks, good luck, and
It's
cut him.
been especially after because I was listening to the Tigers on the radio, like the coverage on the radio quite heavily around the time of that Marlins series where we just had zero offense. And it was heavily in the talks that like at some point it's like, hey, you're paying him anyways. You're hurting yourself at some point. And we didn't even talk about the fact that Eddie's Leonard is on his way back.
Jesus, they just gave up a triple and a run.
Yeah, Eddie's Leonard, who is a primary shortstop. I mean, obviously not defensively to the level of Javi Baez, but he's taking some rehab starts at low A, and he's hit very, very well in his short stint in Detroit. And at some point, what is Javi really doing for you? You're paying him and he's somewhere else, or you're paying him and he's essentially hurting you because he's not playing that good a defense at this point. So, the Arizona series was very encouraging. He's not playing. He struggled yesterday. He's not playing today. I'm sure he'll play tomorrow, but we're getting June, and then early July. Like,
yeah, I mean they've got Gio can play a little bit, like you said. He's normally platooning at third. McKinstry's been okay. I don't think there's any injustice there, but yeah, at some point. Now I read online too, one of the 97 won the ticket guys along with the general public, talking about, you look what the Royals did and what they spent, and then you looked at the Tigers and they tried to some people tried to take that comparison kind of out of context, and they said, well, here's all the players they signed, they're not doing that great. And I'm like, yeah, but if you look at the contracts we gave Maeda last year and Baez 2 years ago, it trumps all those bad numbers because it's more than what they spent on those guys last year alone. And those guys both combined to be like Baez and Maeda each have some terrible WAR numbers. And if McKenzie going to bat 180, 190 and be serviceable with the glove, I'd rather pay him the 3, 4, 5 million, whatever you're paying him, and cut bait with Baez, who you're giving 25 plus a year to, and you start looking at another full-time, piece for shortstop. And I mean, at the least, it would create a roster spot for Parker to come back in that situation, just as a 1-to-1. But
or a Malloy who's not even on the 40 man right now, and there's nothing else he can do. And then one thing that we can say is that our minor league guys that are coming from AAA, they've all hit. Buddy Kennedy hit. And granted, it's like, okay, he hit a home run. He crept up on some guys, and then even he kind of tapered down for the next couple games. But Ryan Velarde, Buddy Kennedy, Wencio Perez, like they've all hit. We haven't had a call up yet that hasn't. Wencio Perez gets another hit because he's just the greatest of all time. I don't whatever.
Real talk, some of these names, these minor leaguers this year that have come up, I mean, it kind of remind me of the early Comerica Park days where you had, oh my goodness, you had Nook Logan, you had
well, Nook
Batista.
Logan was in the system at least. Like I followed him up. Buddy Kennedy and Ryan Velarde came from Kennedy came from I don't know if he came from Angels. He came from, we didn't draft him. He was like a DFA, and Velarde came from the Rockies. Like, but yeah, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, no, it's like these guys weren't highly touted.
No,
to your point, they were
Marcus Thames
nobodies. Well, Marcus Thames became somebody, but like Kareem Batista, Nook Logan, guys that would have never made a 25-man roster anywhere else in the league, but the Tigers were that bad in the early 2000s that you had all these career minor leaguers starting almost every day at the big league club. But in the great retrospect of it, in comparison, these guys are producing and making it difficult for them to be sent back down. So at least we've got.
Oh yeah, Badu. We called Badu up, and he produced.
Yep, in the one game.
We got a mess.
Yeah,
but all those guys are. What's crazy is that none of them are inside. None of them are infielders. They're all outfielders.
Well, yeah,
Velarde is an outfielder. Badu is an outfielder. Perez is an outfielder. Who am I missing? Oh, Kennedy's
second base. Second base.
Yes, that's the one infielder we have. But he has no. He's forever gonna bounce around. He's not a highly touted guy. But even he was balling.
Who knows? I mean, if Baez ends up being the one, and they don't think McKinstry's going to be the everyday guy, it could be Buddy splitting time in the middle infield. But I know he's a little bit of a bigger dude, so I don't know if he's got that range for
Yeah,
the left side of the middle
he's pretty
infield. So
solid, but I think
yeah,
I think he's pretty fast though, surprisingly.
yeah. So I
Um,
mean, there's just, and I said it from the first show, and I've said it multiple
Veerling.
times, but
Oh, my bad.
it's you got too many guys platooning too many positions, and this is where your flexibility in the lineup card comes back to bite you when you're so loaded on one position or another that you have no room for guys that struggle and need to come back up when they start, getting it back together, because nobody else on that platooning side has any options, or you risk losing someone entirely. So, but to your point, I mean, these guys have been, 1A, 1B with each other, third, short, left field, right field. Um, they just got to start hitting better, honestly. I mean, if they could overcome some of these errors, if they could score 2 more runs a game, and I'll go back to that stat real quick on offense. This is updated heading into tonight's game. When they score 5 runs or more, they are 16-3.
I saw the
16
graphic.
and 3. When they score less, they are 7 and
7-20.
21. The
Yeah.
difference is so large that
16-3 to score 5 measly
yes,
runs. 5 runs. I
yes,
saw the Dodgers. I was watching the Dodgers and was it Diamondbacks? It was the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. The Dodgers hit 3 home runs in 1 inning. 1 inning.
dude. Dodgers are just absolutely. I mean, right now, NL MVP runaway train with Mookie, but Freeman has been coming in hot. He started slow, and
Yeah,
now he's
Freeman hit a
tearing the
home run
off the ball.
yesterday.
And now it's
And
now this.
Otani. I think Otani hit one yesterday
Yeah,
too.
he's been on a tear. Devers, I noticed. I know we're
Ooh,
getting around the league a
Colt
little bit.
Keith.
Devers got a
Colt
record
Keith.
for Boston, home run in 6 straight games. That's as many as our tied for second two players have behind Riley Green. And this dude's hit 6 in 6 days. Like
That is insane. That is
that's
crazy.
that's the frustration as Tiger fans that we're feeling right now, and we know it because it's been that way. We knew, like, okay, a lot of the young guys gonna be playing. There's gonna be some shuffling going around. You're gonna see a lot of substitutions for pinch runners, defensive matchup situations. Um, but it's when if they could score literally 1.5, maybe 2 more runs per game on average, I guarantee you they're probably a 25% or maybe 20% better win percentage team. Just on the number of that when they hit that mark. Now, obviously, you can't take all that. You take some of it with a grain of salt because obviously, pitching could fall apart easily at any time. But that right now seems like a difference between being 5 games over 400 or 500 and being, back in that 3 to 4 games back range, or where they're at now, just below 500, and the full 7 games back of the divisional leader. Because at some point they're gonna have to start making up ground. If they don't start making up ground up until the All-Star break, they're gonna be in trouble, and they're gonna have to pay a lot more in trade talks essentially at that point than they would as of now to try and help provide a spark. Doesn't need to solve the problem itself, but they just need a spark.
All right, and hold that thought. We're gonna take one more break, and then we're gonna get into the upcoming schedule, and we're gonna get up out of here. All right, don't look now, but the Tigers went from 8-0 to 8-3. Colt Keith had just hit an RBI single. Matt Vierling is making
2 RBI triple.
Oh no, that was Vierling got the triple.
Yeah, but it scored Kana and Perez.
Right, but I'm saying Vierling. I mean, and then Keith got a single to get Vierling in as well. So yeah, we're rallying right. We're rallying right now. Oh, McKinstry.
I literally was about to say when they started the top inning, I'm like, these dudes are getting no hit by a no-name starter.
Oh, is he? Yeah, DeMarsh. I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
But let's get in because I got another topic, but I'm gonna leave it for it because I don't want it to drag too long. We might do that as its own, topic. But Who do we have coming up in the next couple of weeks? And what we got to look forward to.
Yeah, so we got the series right now, Kansas City, the last of this little mini road trip. Till Wednesday, they quick turnaround. They come home for 4 against the Blue Jays, and they will actually, I believe, have an off day on Memorial Day. They usually play on Memorial Day, but not this year. A day off, and then they have a quick 2-game set against the Pirates to finish their 4-game series from earlier in April. And then they carry over heading into Memorial Weekend and in the first 2 days of June with a 4-game set over in Boston. In terms of pitching matchups, we got Skubal tomorrow, Flaherty for Toronto. We got Flaherty, Manning. Olsen may or may not in that 3rd game on the 25th. We'll see. And then game 4 would be Mize. Pittsburgh game 1, Skubal, Flaherty 2. Technically Manning right now until they make a roster change if Maeda is healthy enough. The first 3 of that series would be Manning, Olsen, and Mize.
All right, so that is the upcoming schedule. And the name of the game is run support. Starting pitching has been strong. Flaherty and Skubal have been a nice 1-2 punch. Reese Olson had an ERA going into the game of 2.09, which is just mind-blowing that he doesn't have a single win and has like 9 total runs. I don't know. I might have made that up, but it's just crazy.
It's close. It's close.
Yeah. So yeah, we got Cole Keith. Cole Keith's home run is coming real soon. He's hitting the ball real well. And yeah, we'll just see. I really hope that we can keep it close because everybody else in the AL Central is cooking right now outside of the White Sox, and it would be nice to watch some meaningful baseball games in June and July. But I'm definitely popping out, and whenever coach is available and ready, and he's not working, umping games and stuff like that. Wait a minute, let's because we're gonna wrap it up on that. Right after that, go ahead.
Yeah, I might ride with you Friday. Who knows? We'll see. I know we talked about flying a little bit a couple days ago. We'll see. I got a weird day game for high school on Friday. But yeah, no, I tonight had a single over at Detroit Country Day, the home of Chris Webber. But worked the field tonight, and pregame we walked up onto the field. For those who don't know, Brandon Inge is the assistant coach at Detroit Country Day. His son Tyler is a senior heading to Michigan this fall as a signed commit. And he actually broke Detroit Country Day's all-time hit record. He ripped the single through the hole in his second at bat, and we grew up on Brandon Inge. We've known him the entire time, even when he left, I think, with Oakland and played 1 year and came back to Detroit, got a rousing standing ovation. The guy was a part of the rebuild from 20 years ago. And his son is just like him, no fanfare. Didn't want any recognition, nothing over the microphone. All he did was they swapped the ball out, and that was it. We continued to move on playing baseball. But cool moment to see, especially as we near the high school playoffs here in about 2 weeks. Season's kind of winding down a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to give that shout out real quick to Tyler Inge and Detroit Country Day, and on a record that who knows how long that will stand for.
Right. Yeah. We gotta show love to those legendary Tigers generation. But it was cool. It's cool to see that because I don't think he's from Michigan. Inge is from Michigan originally, but
no,
decided
you're right.
Hang around and raise his kids in Detroit and create some more baseball greatness that we may see in the major leagues one day. Who knows? But yeah, that's another week in Tigers baseball. Corner to Copa. We are an official podcast. All on his lonesome is no longer on the bleachers. We're still go live on YouTube on the Bleachers, the Speakers website, YouTube. but you can now download Corner to Copa and follow it all by itself on all streaming platforms, Spotify and Apple Music and all those other cool webs, all those other streaming platforms. But be on the lookout. We will be keeping track of all roster updates, any trades, or please somebody. And we're gonna talk about trades. So we're gonna talk about some specific trades and candidates coming up real soon. But stay in tune because we're gonna be consistent, especially during the summertime. As it heats up, things heat up during the summertime, whether the Tigers are good or bad. We'll be keeping a real close lookout to things going on. And follow. We're on Twitter now. We're on Twitter. Did you change the name or is
Yeah,
it still?
nah, that's in the works. I'll have that changed. But yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna try to figure out because I don't know how to
yeah,
change names on Twitter, but
I should be able to do it. Yeah.
we will be on Twitter. We're gonna get an Instagram as well. I got too many Instagrams. I got Bleachers and Speakers Instagram. I got clothing apparel. Get you some frontline apparel. That's available right now. You can
Rev it.
copy. You can copy whatever you
Put that
anywhere
plug in.
anywhere from medium to extra large. I can get you together right now. But yeah, that's enough shameless plugs. Catch us, catch us everywhere. Catch us on social media. We out there. Um, and
Enjoy
yeah,
your Memorial Weekend, everyone. Next week we'll be live.
Memorial Day weekend. And we're gonna figure out. What Monday, Memorial Day, or what did we say we gonna do? Tuesday.
I think Memorial Day evening, that Monday night.
Yeah,
I think originally, but we'll. I'd say if you subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, you'll see that time and date be updated accordingly. So then obviously when we change other social medias to reflect the Corner to Copa, we'll also put them up there as well. But in case we do go later than Monday, obviously thank you to all those who have served and made the ultimate sacrifice to our nation and wherever you may live around the world, if it is getting that far out there. But we're, like you said, getting in the middle of the meat of the summer here. We got some quality matchups, and we'll see what this team's really about here over the next couple of weeks.
All right, stay tuned to the next episode of C2C.